Hello everyone, welcome to True and 3D. Please, if you are new here, you know what to do. Okay, so the last tutorial I spoke about some of the errors that the person who initially worked on this made, and now I will be fixing some of those errors in like a series of like episodes. So now in this episode I want to work on the mouth. So the mouth is a cartoony kind of mouth. So here is what I will do. I will pick one of my characters. Maybe I'll pick this. Okay, yes, this is a character that I'm supposed to actually put in one of my series. I would definitely link you guys to it when it's out. So I'm just going to pick the entire mouth Visemes so that I can replace them. You could draw them like that, but I prefer using references. It's way better that way for me. So Control C and come back to melee. Control V. Good. No, something is okay. Control V. Yes. So now I'm just going to drag this here and zoom and then scale it a bit. Not that way. Scale it. Okay, good. Haha. Okay, let me turn off some of these because I do not need them right now. Turn off the head, leave the mouth on. So now what we are supposed to be working on is the neutral. This is A. This is A. So this mouth is a bit confusing. This going up doesn't look good, and if I make the default that way, something like this, make this the default. Let me turn off certain things and see if it looks good. Let me turn this, put this on. Maybe the eyes, highlight the nose. This looks alright. Doesn't look bad for a default mouth, but I think let me just create a new layer and work that there, so that I can turn this off at any time, at any point that I want to. So not this one, let's turn it like this. Okay, so this doesn't look bad, but I don't know. Let me just work on something else. It's from the default mouth that you'll be able to get any other mouth that you want to get. So making this the default, does it look good? Yeah, actually this looks fine. So I'm just going to make this the default, but then turn this off. We clean this a bit. Okay, so now we have his default mouth, and I can just Control G this, just make it a group and then name it neutral. But since I have this here, I do not have to do that, so I drag this in and delete the old version. So now we have a clean slate. Now we have a default mouth. Now let's do the woo. And if you notice, okay, let me do something like this. Let me scale it and bring it closer so that we do not have to start zooming out all the time. Okay, so now we're doing woo. So since we have our default mouth, our neutral mouth Viseme, we are drawing every other thing from this mouth shape. We're drawing every other mouth shape. So now you lock this, and then let's make a woo. A woo mouth is a bit scaled to on the x-axis, is scaled towards the center, like a scale like this. This place is dragged like this. So we're supposed to make this reflect it a bit, even though this mouth is not a forward facing mouth like this one. So I'm just going to draw it from here now. So let's draw something like this and stop here. And this time the woo mouth, woo is supposed to be small. The mouth is small. Woo, if you notice, if you do woo now, you'll be able to you notice that your mouth becomes smaller. So it's going to be something like this. Let's do something like this and like this. Woo. In fact, I'll even go as far as making it even way smaller than that, like this. Make it come like this. Does this look like okay? So let's clean this a bit. Clean it. Clean. Let it be as short, as small as possible. You know, you're not seeing. This is because of the neutral. So let me just redraw this thing. Okay, so now we have our woo mouth shape, and this whole portion is empty. So let's drag this in, and we have woo. Okay, so if I just activate this just for a little while, and from default the mouth goes to okay. One mistake I made was woo, the mouth is coming forward a bit. So this should be taken, at least you draw it at this point. Draw it at this point. Let it be at the edge. So it should be something like, from default, the mouth goes forward for woo. I don't know if you are seeing it, it looks good. So that's a woo. Let the mouth come forward for woo. Okay, so now let's do r. And now let's deactivate our default, and just for clarity's sake, I'm going to make our default green, and it's not very clear. Let's make it pink and lock it, just so that we'll be able to see what we're doing. Okay, so now we're doing a r sound. Let's turn this off. A r sound. So the mouth should be complete. You draw, make this black. So the mouth should go like this and like this, but then the r sound, you make it, draw it like this. Let it not be at the end. And then now for the teeth. Okay, let's do the teeth like this, and then let's do the teeth down. So now we have I'm not comfortable with that. Let's leave it like this. No, okay, that's fine. And I know it doesn't look very it doesn't look as much as you're imagining it, but that's just because I've not painted it. So now we can drag our down like this and delete the old version. Delete the old version. Okay, and then let's go to O. Now O is like woo, but O is wider, and it should be it should not come forward. So now we're doing O, and we'll do something like this. Okay, let's just go with the whole thing like this. And now let's do something like this. Okay, so now this is O. Let's drag it and replace. And I know I'm not taking too long making some stuff like this, but it will look good at the end, I promise. So let me just check if this is still recording. Yes, it is, and we're 10 minutes in already. Okay, so I'm just going to be faster. So now we're doing l. Okay, so l, the mouth is not that wide, so I'm not going to go extreme. I'm going to go something like this. You see, I'm still using the reference to know where I'm supposed to stop and where I'm supposed to like do stops. So l. This is wrong because it's supposed to be your teeth, because it goes behind the teeth. So I'm going to do something like this, and then do something like this for the tongue, and then do something like this for. Let's do something like this. No, downwards a bit. Okay, so this is l. And then make sure you draw this. I don't know if I did not in the other versions. Okay, I did. Okay, so yeah, it's looking fine. So we're done with l. Let's just drag it in, delete the old version, and move to D. Okay, this is still wrong. So for D, what you do is draw something like this, and then you go downwards, but not as much. Then you draw your teeth, but then the teeth are not touching each other. So it should be something like this. So this is too wide. This is not supposed to be. It's too wide. The mouth is too wide. So let's just clean this a bit, and then let's redraw it. It's too wide, so something like this. Good. Something like this is fine. You draw the teeth, and then you draw the teeth. Let them be close. They should be close but not touching. Okay, so something like this is good, and then let's draw the back. This is good. Okay, so we can just drag this in, and I'm not painting it yet because I will be doing that very soon. So let's delete this, and then let's do E. Now E is, this is supposed the default, the one that you are seeing, the one that was sent in the image is actually R. So I'm going to go in and do something like this. Just take it up a bit, and then take it down but not as much. And then let's do something like this, and we'll call this E. And for E, the teeth is there, but it's not supposed to be as wide as that. So E, and then we'll go with the tongue like this, and like this. Okay, and like this. So this is E. And let's drag it in and delete the old version, and then let's do R. So R, we're basically tracing the R that was sent. I don't know what's wrong with my hands. Basically tracing. Okay, and then let's something like this and like this. Then we'll go something like this, and there's a shadow, but I will work on that later. Okay, there's something that I'm missing actually, but don't worry about that. I'll come to that later on. So now we can drag this in, and we have our R. And now working on O. O should be something like this, like an E, but then it should not go forward. It should be something like this. So let's do this like this. Let's do something like this. So this is O, and then bring your tongue downwards. Bring your tongue downwards. So we have O now, and there's no teeth. So okay, so O set. Let's delete this, and then let's do now. You leave the default lines at the top, and then you come down, but don't yet, because we'll just imagine that the teeth is this point. So let's do something like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. So like this, and then we'll say this is the teeth that is biting the lower lip. So let's drag this in, and we have a F. Now we have S. S is similar to R. Okay, so in some cases I could just duplicate this and put, but then just so that it gives it a bit of a unique unique look when you're animating, let's bring like this downwards a bit, and let's make the teeth like this and like this. That's fine. And now we have S. And M, which is the last one, is just the same, but it's just the same default, but now make the line straight, make the line straighter, kind of. And then now we're done. So now let's go into painting. But let's go through and check the tongue. First thing I'm going to do is pick sample this color, that's for the shade of the tongue. So I'm going to go through all the Visemes, for all the Visemes that the tongue is appearing in, and then we'll do something about them. So the tongue is not appearing here, the tongue is appearing here. So now what kind of shading should I do for this? So let's make it that this point is not shaded, so something like this. Let's do something like this and drag it below, drag it beneath. Can we group this? Is it possible? It's not. So I think I'll drag this out, group it alone, drag it in, and then drag this over it. Confusing, I know, but don't worry about it. So let's go to the next one that the tongue is appearing in. So we are supposed to like imitate the shading that is there. So I'm going to do something like this. You don't have to do it, it doesn't have to be exactly, or maybe something similar. So something like this is fine. Let's drag this in. Okay, let me group it. Group, drag it in, and then take this above it, because the black lines are supposed to be above this. So that's why I'm actually doing this. Okay, so this is basically we're tracing, so that's easy. And now, yes, we have this. Group it. Let's group it. Okay, so now I'm going to drag this above. Okay, so tongue is appearing here again. Let's do the same thing. So let's do something like this and something like this, and then let's group it. Keep forgetting. Group, drag it above, and voila. And I think that is all. Yes, that is all. So now let's go into painting. I'm going to sample this tongue color and just go through every version that has a tongue, and let's paint the tongue. Okay, this one does. So okay, now here's what you notice. If I paint this name, I lose this name. So if I paint now, it becomes group, which is not what I want. So I'm going to this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to paint just this, and then drag it back and delete the old one, because yeah, I don't want to start renaming these stuff. I'm actually using my drawing tablets over my lap, and I do not want to be typing as much. If I can avoid it, I will. So I'm going to duplicate this and then paint this portion, and then take it back and delete the old version. Same thing, just when you understand Adobe Illustrator, these things will become like second nature to you. It is like second nature to me, honestly. Sometimes I make characters like I could in a day could make like 10 characters, mostly because I'm reusing assets that I've already made, so it makes my work easier. But then I'm also used to the software. That is actually what helps a lot too. Okay, so I did not delete this old version, so let's delete that. Okay, so now let's work on the teeth. The teeth is mostly white, so any version that has a teeth, let's go in and paint them. This, so let's drag this, boom boom, take it back and delete the old version. Okay, we can just paint this because we've already painted something on it, so it's done. It's way easier. Duplicate, paint, drag it back and delete the old. We can just paint this. We can just paint this too. Okay, so this one, let's drag it out, paint, take it back in and delete the former. Paint, drag it back in, delete the old version. And now any one that has a like mouth in front, what am I saying, any version that has like the opening, like the back of your mouth, that's what I'm going to be working on now. So let's sample this. This is pure black. I do not like using pure black for any of my work, so I'm just going to take it up a bit and make it a bit brown. I know this is not what the guy actually sent to me, but do not use black. Use black for only outlines. It's always the best way of animators do not use black as much aside from the outline. They use it mostly for the outline, only for the outline, and then for the others you change the shade a bit just so that the black outline is not lost in that, like this. As you can see, you don't know where the outline is and where the dark portion is. And honestly, if you use this color, brown, dark brown, or ash, dark ash, it's still basically the same thing. In people's head, they will record it as black, so you don't have to worry about it not being black. So I'm just going to do this. When someone is watching the animation, he's just going to see black. He's not going to see brown. So let's do it. And this one, I'm not comfortable having live paint. Let's just skip it. It's fine. So we could just paint this. We could paint this. We could paint this. Okay, I need to turn on this. Okay, could paint this. Paint this. Fine. Could paint this. Okay, so now we've painted this, and I think it's the tongue that is left. That's for the side that is not shaded. So I'm going to turn this off and sample that portion. I don't have to even sample, I have it already. So let's just paint like this, and this and this. No tongue. Paint. Okay, that's basically it for the Visemes. Our character has 8 Visemes now. You can see I have to change this back. Let's change this back to black, and voila. From the default position, you can get your woo, and you see it's looking very, very natural. You can get your you could get your oh, you could get your la 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 la, you could get your d, you could get your e, then you could get your A, then you could get your O, then you could get your F, you could get your S, you could get your M, and then your default. So like I said, I'm going to be breaking these videos into bits. So this is the part where I work on the mouth. So thank you for watching. Please give us a like, give us a sub. It will help us, and it will also help you to get more contents like this from us. Thank you, and bye for now.